We went and grabbed some to kind of just compare between Good Ranchers and grocery store.
These steaks happen to be from Costco, but this is pretty representative of like a typical grocery store.
Right.
And some of the different things you'll notice, Jermaine, just like we were talking about earlier, bigger steaks are not better, right? We're trying to source from Angus cattle that are younger, have really great intermuscular fat, great marbling. If you look at the size of this steak and you look at the intermuscular fat, a typical...
Where? I'm looking. There's none.
There's none there. Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot of external fat.
Yeah.
Right. We also talked about that with trim spec. Right. We're not leaving a bunch of fat on the outside of the meat.
Right.
Where here you can evidently see this. I mean, it's super fatty. So a customer's going to walk up to the meat case and go, "Oh my gosh, that is a huge steak. Oh, I'm getting a great value." This steak has no marbling. Grocery stores want the meat to be super cherry red, which means they can't age it, which means they don't get the benefit of the aging process and the tenderness.
Yeah, that's actually a really great point. So with Good Ranchers, we're aging a minimum of 21 days, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
What aging does is it increases the tenderness, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's breaking down the muscle, and it also gives you more of that rich, beefy flavor too.
Yeah, exactly right. So when we age beef, whether it's wet or dry, a couple of things are happening. The fibers in the muscle are tenderizing, right? But it also helps remove and reduce the amount of water content in the muscle, so we get a beefier flavor compared to something come from the grocery store like this. And you can just see just how like wet it is, right? And you can see how, I can physically feel how chewy this is gonna be. In fact, you can even see kind of in here, Jermaine, look, you see here, look, this is...
Oh yeah, that's not just blood, there's a ton of water in there.
Yeah, there's a ton of water in there.
Yeah. The other thing I will say too is that if you take a look at this big package here, you go buy this thing and you're not gonna, you better be ready to feed an army with this. With Good Ranchers, every single piece of meat ours is individually packaged and vacuum sealed, so you can take out exactly what you want to use for your family and leave the rest in the freezer. So there's virtually no food waste. I just read this the other day, that 40% of all fresh meat bought from a grocery store, families, will be thrown away due to waste. So that's either you cooked it and you like, hey, I'm gonna use leftovers, or you didn't cook it and it spoiled in the fridge. So for the average American family, that's about $1,200 to $1,400 a year that you can save. One of the things that you do see at a grocery store a lot is all these labels and pieces. You get a shield here, some special little sticker they put on there that says, might say some claim or something. Can you kind of dive into a little bit what that is? There's that term in the industry now where it's like greenwashing, right? Where you just put all these claims on there that don't really mean anything, so that the consumer would want to buy it. But we don't do that at Good Ranchers, if you want to. We
don't. No, we're not a claim heavy. We're not just putting stuff on our product just to make it sound like, it's something that it's not. What you see a lot at the grocery store is, the shield is this is a USDA grade. So this particular product is graded choice. The shield and the grading, it's a federally recognized program. It doesn't mean as much today as it used to, right? What happens in the beef industry is that, the packers that the grocery stores are buying from have become really, really good at sorting out the really good choice from the really not so good choice. And it's given the grocery stores the ability to really, and again, we can see it in this product pretty clearly, really focus in on, hey, I'm gonna take that bottom end of the choice spectrum, I'm gonna get it for a little bit cheaper, that's what I'm gonna put on my shelves.
So at Good Ranchers, we source upper 2/3 choice and prime products. So that means that, like back to what you were saying, these graders have gotten really good at being able to source out, hey, this is the lower bottom end of choice, here's the upper end. And that upper 2/3 choice and better, that in prime, that is the top quality steak that we produce here in the US, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've, and our product is all American sourced. It is the top tier. And again, it comes through in the experience.
But we talked about being 100% all-American. Let's talk a little bit about that, because one of the things I do know is the grocery store, there's a whole thing called Product USA, country of origin labeling law. Let's just touch on that a little bit, because when you go to the grocery store, just because it says Product USA doesn't mean it comes from America, right?
You could put Product of USA on a product if you've sourced it from Paraguay or you've sourced it from Argentina or wherever. There's a lot of imported meat coming in right now. And if you bring it in and you cut it in the US and you repackage it in the US, you can put Product of USA on there. And that is it's kind of a game that, again, grocery stores play a lot.
Actually, over 85% of all grass-fed beef in the U.S. is imported. When we found that stat out, it was crazy. That sounds like such a high number, but it's true.
You know, if the grocery stores that are doing a lot of the grass-finished beef, if they really put out there where the product was really coming from, you know, they know pretty well that it's going to affect their sales, right? People in the U.S. are smart. They want to know where their food comes from. But unfortunately, the grocery stores, they just don't, make it that clear and make it that easy.
Yeah, definitely. And that, once again, this is another way that when you buy from Good Ranchers, we take care of all of that for you, right? So that you can have confidence that when you're setting out a great steak for your family, or you're grilling for your son that came home from college, right? Or it's your anniversary and you're setting a plate for your husband, you can have a trust that we're providing you the highest quality meat with the best mission behind it, 100% American beef.
Yeah, absolutely.